idea of a regular person wanting to become a superhero like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. In our adolescent, hero worship days, we have, in some point of our lives, we have admired them. But what if I tell you that 400 years ago, there was a man and he changed his name at the age of 50 years, and he basically belonged to a village in Spain. And next I'll tell you is he named himself as Don Quixote, the story which we are going to see today. Quixote is Quixote. X is silent. Mostly X's are silent. I'm serious. So, why I will tell you to read this work is because of various reasons, that it topped the list of 100 best novels by guardians. Okay, so, and next thing would be that if you see it, that from 1868 to 2002, the currency of Spain was peseta and not euro. So peseta had this picture of Don Quixote on their currency note. Then what special Don Quixote was doing? This is very important for us to know. At the age of 50, where we think that our life is no more, we usually give up on our dreams. He was a man who dreamt of becoming a knight for the downtrodden. He wanted to fight for justice. He wanted to punish the wicked people. And in his quest, he was accompanied by a servant. And that's how, and in right now, even in these times, if you look at Madrid, there are monuments of Miguel Cervantes, the writer of this novel, and Don Quixote. The bronze sculptures are there, statues are there in Spain. And also in 2002, my friends, there was a poll conducted on 100 most famous writers of that time across 54 countries. And this novel, Don Quixote, topped as one of the best novels of all time. And also, if you see that, it is one of the greatest and the most translated book in the world. So let's look at the story of it. And as you know, my friends, the game has just begun. We are back. So let's get started. Once upon a time, there was a man who would love to read about knights. He was a simple man. Every day he would read about the courageous knights and their incredible adventures that they had. Years passed, he kept reading, having spent his entire life immersed in the tales of knights and their daring deeds. That's when he began to believe he was a knight too. So this is Don Quixote, my friends, a Spanish novel by Miguel Cervantes, published in 1605, and second part came in 1615. And even much like Don Quixote, who started to believe he's a knight at the age of 50, Miguel Cervantes too, till 50 years of age, he was just an average writer. Struggling through his works and all. But this was such an insanely famous work that this is a world classic, by the way. This is one of the finest works of Western literature. And before starting the novel, I would like you to know these words, because these keywords are like a soul to this work. If you don't know these words, it might be a tough nut to crack, my friends. So first of all, if someone belongs from a noble family at the age of 7, he's called to learn manners and obedience from knights. At that time, he's called a page. And when he turns 14, he is at times accompanied by a knight. He often cleans the weapon and assists knights. So at that time, he's a squire or a servant. At the age of 21, if he is judged worthy, up till now he is bestowed knighthood, and he's known as a knight, as a special soldier. And that ceremony of making someone a knight, that is known as accolade. In accolade, what do we do is we put tap the shoulders of a particular knight, of a candidate, with a sword, and that's how license is given to a knight, right? Hidalgo is someone like Don Quixote, okay, who belongs to the lowest rank of noblemanship, and he's quite a self-acclaimed kind of a knight, right? And chivalry is the code of conduct of how a knight should talk to a girl, how he should talk to people, and basically how he should be in a society. That is chivalry, and not Shrivalli, huh? Yeah, don't consider Shrivalli and chivalry to be a homophone. All right, so we are lucky, my friends. This is the first edition of the first and second part, kept safe. All right, so this is a story of central Spain. There was a village, La Mancha. La in Spanish means the. Okay. And so there was a man named Alonso. I would love to read about knights, as I told you. Okay, he lived with his niece Antonia, who always was, dear to him, and a cranky housemaid. Alonso and Batman had a similar thing, that they both were wealthy. Okay, but Alonso doesn't have the superpowers at all. He's a very normal guy. And this particular work, my friends, actually introduced the whole literature to the grounded reality. Okay, why? You will see this in the coming section, right? So till the age of 50, he's just read about knights, about all those books, and now you can say he's turning mad by because he believes what he's reading to be true. He believes whatever he reads in knightly or these chivalric novels to be true. And after days passed, he slept very less, and he read too much. His brain cells dried up, and one day he lost his reason, and he decides that he's a knight. He renames himself from Alonso to Don Quixote, the knight of justice, and he wants to defend the downtrodden and the sorrowful ones. He wants to help them. He wants to help the helpless, and he wants to destroy the wicked. Okay, he wants justice to propel in a society. So for that purpose, from his garage, from his old armor, from his old, basically things, he gets up an armor. He prepares an old armor, and he renames his old horse, skinny horse, as Rocinante, and he's ready for adventure. Yeah, he wants to go and hit those streets, and as a knight. And at that time, this is just a 400-year-old story. Yeah, so it's quite shocking for people to see a knight like this. Okay, and in his imagination, he names a girl as Dulcinea, who is an ideal woman, who would appreciate all these works that he'll be doing, and she would be so pleased to meet him, Dulcinea the princess. Okay, all right. So let's see where his adventure takes him. So he's looking for a nobleman to accolade him. Accolade means to give him a license that he is a knight. Yeah. So there is an inn, okay, which he thinks it's a castle. Oh my God. So when he goes inside, there are prostitutes, right? And he thinks them to be ladies, and and at that time they say that he is engrossed in a fight, because his armor and all those things he has kept on a mule. Okay, mule is basically an offspring of a donkey and a horse, so he's kept on someone else's mule, his armor. Then obviously the person would be offended, and he was embroiled in a fight. And he calls the inn owner, means basically for him he is a castle's owner, so he tells him, please accolade me as a knight. I am a knight. So even the owner, he thought to get rid of this man. Who is this crazy guy? Yeah, why he has turned crazy? So he accolades him that at least he'll go. All right, so now my friends, Don Quixote is a licensed knight for him. Okay, and next when he goes from that castle or that inn, okay, he sees a young boy being beaten up by his master. So he goes and interrupts, and he tells that master, okay, he tells him to swear that he won't beat his servant. And master at that time is quite Okay, he says, all right, okay. But this young boy, when he meets Don Quixote after some days, he says that why, sir, why have you interrupted at that time? Because you interrupted, he doubled that beating to me. Okay, I was beaten twice. Okay, so that's a mishap. Yeah. So later, Don Quixote, when he goes on roads, there are some traders or salesmen that are coming in. So he tells them about the beauty of Dulcinea, a woman who is so ideal to him. And they starts fighting that who is Dulcinea? What do we need to do with her? Okay, why are you telling her? We do not acknowledge the beauty. So he fights them because they don't acknowledge the beauty of Dulcinea. My God, what is this guy doing? Okay, although his adventures are clumsy, but he is courageous for sure, right? And now he's beaten so hard by these traders, these salesmen, that a neighboring guy from his village actually brings him back to his home, okay, on the back of a donkey, right? And so now while he's resting in his home, he has come home after so many days. There is a priest and a barber, people who actually want him to please give up his lunacy. Yeah, they are requesting him, please give up your lunacy and become that Alonso who is our friend. They even burn his library. Why? Because they think that these nightly books have made him a crazy man. As they say, there is a quote, my friends. They say that reading made him a gentleman. Right? Reading made Don Quixote a gentleman, but believing whatever he read made him mad. Okay, so yeah, at this time, he meets an opportunistic laborer, Sancho. He tells him that, will you be my servant, squire, basically? I'll give you an island to govern, because, he's quite rich, Don Quixote. Even if he doesn't work all his life, he has money. So Sancho is quite opportunistic. So he says, yeah, why not? So Sancho on his mule is a offspring of a donkey and horse. So Sancho on a mule, or you can say a donkey as well, because some text says donkey, and Don Quixote on a horse. They both, at the time of dawn, again leave their home and they are going on an adventure, right? But they are a study in opposites, because Sancho is quite a practical and a grounded man, and Don Quixote is ideal, right? While they are going, they see windmills, and Don Quixote says, look, Sancho, I can see monster, and he is an ogre, a man-eating monster. Sancho says, sir, please stop. Those are windmills, okay? You will be hit badly if you do so. He says, no. He says he's an ogre, I can see. But he says, okay, I'm unstoppable. I'm going to prepare for, going to go to hit him. And he says, looking at the windmill, you vile monster, beware my wrath. Prepare to face my spear, you ogre. And he hits his head so hard on a windmill that people say that he gets even more disoriented than he was. Okay, so as you can see, he has fallen from his horse, and Sancho says, see, my sir, I told you it's a windmill. And still he believes that whatever he did was right. Don Quixote says, look, Sancho, the monster is much more wounded than I am. Sancho says, yeah, you are a great knight, actually a great knight, and wow, yeah, the monster is hit badly. Yeah. So now they go and now they see a flock of sheep, okay, and Don Quixote thinks them to be monsters again. He says, look, Sancho, the forces of evil are emerged once again, and this time an entire army. So he again goes to hit them, and as he goes, all the sheep runs. And he says, looking back at Sancho, he says, see how coward these spirits are. And people actually at wherever they were traveling to northern and central Spain and different places, people used to mock them, people taunted them. Okay, actually they said, all hail the mad knight, Don Quixote, right? And basically he couldn't understand that they were actually mocking him. He just thought that they are praising him, they are cheering. So he told Sancho that he became much more convinced in his adventure, in his quest, that one day someone would write tales about his adventure, and even told Sancho that someday people will write about our great adventures. And okay, all right, so again he goes to an inn which he thinks to be a castle. And this time, these inn have servants, right? So there is a servant girl, her name is Helen. Don Quixote thinks that she is a princess in a castle. So at night, Don Quixote makes her sit with him. So that servant girl is quite uncomfortable and sitting with a 50-year-old man. And yeah, so she basically this scene is quite chaotic. Okay, and people gather like, what is happening, what's wrong? And basically they were here to spend a night, basically in an inn which he thinks to be a castle. So people actually abandon them, that just go away, you're not staying here. So Don Quixote, and this is thing with Don Quixote, that he follows the old knights. He never pays bills at all. Okay, he eats, he does everything, and he just goes. All right, he never pays bills. Okay, so a lot of people threaten Sancho for that, who is much practical guy. But with time, Sancho has become loyal to Don Quixote, because although he is giving his island to him to govern in future. But yeah, so they say that Acha, by the way, when part 1 came, the writer Miguel Cervantes had no idea this novel would be such a successful novel throughout the world, that even in America, where novels were banned 400 years ago because of Puritan Christians, they thought this to be a sinful distraction. Even in America, people used to buy off street and read these pirated versions. They loved Don Quixote so much that Don Quixote became a hero, a folk hero, because at least they've heard stories that there is someone, a man, a knight, that he's there for the sorrowful, he's there who won't tolerate injustice at all. Okay, so there was for part 2, they say that a writer, Avellaneda book came. Actually, this was not an original book, but someone did this piracy to write part 2. Fake part 2 came, and the fake part 2 had a character Don Alvaro. So Miguel Cervantes was very angered by this, that this is my success. Up till 50 years I have spent doing all the hard work, and now when I am successful, okay, a fake part 2 comes. So when he writes the original part 2, okay, he makes a scene in original part that Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, they kidnap this fake character which was created in a pirated copy, Don Alvaro. So they go to Barcelona to kidnap that guy, Don Alvaro. Yeah, so again, however we laugh on Don Quixote or people, but there are some people who really care for us. So same was Samson Carrasco, which the writer introduced in part 2. This character has basically in previous times he has come in various guises, as a priest, as a barber, someone who would burn the library so that Don Quixote should come back. And they genuinely want him to rest at home, okay, not do all this kind of silly things. So Carrasco, who is a boy of his village, he disguises himself as Knight of Mirrors. He tells Don Quixote, okay, he gives him a challenge, fight with me. Okay, and if I defeat you, you have to come to home. So surprisingly, Don Quixote wins this battle, and he's not going home now. Okay, and now Don Quixote, is a knight, because although he gets beaten up most of the times. But now, he wants to meet, he says he wants to meet Dulcinea, who is no real girl. She's an imaginary girl which he thinks to exist in Tobosa, a village near them. Dulcinea del Tobosa. Del Tobosa means, del means of the, so Dulcinea of the Tobosa, right? So Sancho is, he tells Sancho, okay, Sancho, do one thing, just go and find Dulcinea. And now Sancho is quite amazed because there is no Dulcinea. But how to convince? Don Quixote is unstoppable. Man, he's an impossible man. He won't believe that there is no Dulcinea. Okay, he's ready to fight with me, but he won't believe that there is no Dulcinea. So he does one thing. Okay, he gathers 3 girls. Okay, he makes them, makes Don Quixote believe that these, this one of them is Dulcinea and others are ladies in waiting. Don Quixote couldn't believe this because these girls are so ugly, and he always thought of Dulcinea to be a princess. So he thinks that, oh yeah, the enchanters have done this mischief, that they have, guised Dulcinea, and, they are casting a spell on him to, make Dulcinea look so ugly. Okay, so they go on in their next adventures, and this is my friend Cardenio. Okay, one thing I'll tell you about their next adventure is, Cardenio is, by the way, a lost play by William Shakespeare as well. Okay, William Shakespeare wrote this play along with John Fletcher, to be specific. In 1613 they say this play was performed, but this is a lost play. And surprisingly, in this Don Quixote novel, they meet this character Cardenio. Cardenio is living like a wild man in a forest. Yeah, why? Because he thinks the girl whom he truly loved has married someone else, and she has betrayed him by marrying Don Fernando, the son of a duke. Seeing this, Don Quixote became very conscious. He told Sancho, okay, just write some letter to Dulcinea, yaar. Dulcinea na chali jaye. Okay. So on the way, when Sancho is going to give a letter to Dulcinea from Don Quixote's part, Sancho stops at an inn, and he meets priest and barber. Those guys who were old friend of Don Quixote. They try their best to bring Don Quixote back. Yeah, they are the only hope he has. Yeah. So Sancho says, yeah, he's doing quite a mischief and quite lunacy he has. So they basically plan something. They say that, there is a girl, this Dorothy, a young girl. We'll make her a princess. Okay. Micomicona princess. And, we'll make her, make Don Quixote believe that this princess is being attacked by giants and her kingdom is in danger. So when Don Quixote will come, we'll just, arrest him. Yeah, or we'll just, arrest him and send him back to his home. So they agreed, fine. But, in this Cardenio's story, basically Cardenio loved Lucinda, but she has married Don Fernando, as I said. But what happens? Even Don Fernando loved some other girl, that is Dorothy, okay, who has become a princess, what they are making for Don Quixote. So Dorothy is much like Cardenio, because Dorothy thinks, why Don Fernando married someone else. Cardenio thinks, why Lucinda married someone else. And all this time, Don Fernando has married the only lover of his friend, that is Lucinda. Yeah. So at the end they say that in that inn where they meet, the old lovers reunite. Cardenio again reunites with Lucinda, जो भी जिससे प्यार करता था वो उसी के पास वापस चला गया. Okay, Don Fernando goes with Dorothy, and Don Quixote is arrested. These priest and barber arrest him, but again he comes back from his home. This is an old ritual. Okay, and again he goes on a adventure. And now, my friends, this is the last adventure. Okay, this is the end of the novel. Okay, they play, the Duke and Duchess have come. Okay, they play certain pranks on these, Don Quixote and his Sancho Panza. So they even do this thing, Duke and Duchess, they play so pranks, and they hurt at times as well to them, to Don Quixote and Sancho Panza. They do one thing that, to break this change, they offer Sancho to become a governor of an island, and Sancho shows deep loyalty by renouncing and cancelling this offer, that no, I will serve to Don Quixote, who is my master. I won't leave him for this offer. Okay, so, and they say that Carrasco, basically, the guy from his village, Don Quixote, he again comes in the guise of Knight of the White Moon, and he again challenges here, if I defeat you, you have to go back to home. And this time, sadly, my friends, Don Quixote gets defeated. Okay, he has to return back to his home, to leave knight errantry, means to leave all this adventure. And when he goes to his home, people say that Don Quixote became so popular and he became a folk hero that he became a household name, my friends. Okay, people used to think about them and feel good about it. Okay, that Don Quixote won't tolerate injustice, Don Quixote is their hero. But now Don Quixote is broken in spirit because he's going home and he has left because he has promised something, and if he promises, he will do it. And after a long sleep at his home, he again declares that his reasons are back, and he has regained his reason, and he is not Don Quixote, but he is Alonso, a simple man. And at the end of this novel, the writer says that he has written this part just to tell everyone that it is the demise of chivalry. Now these knights and all these things are not in existence. And shortly after the publishing part 2, the writer Miguel Cervantes died as well on 23rd April 1616, same day on which William Shakespeare died. And this is a town, my friends, in Western Australia. Okay, to give a tribute to Miguel Cervantes, okay, they had named this town as Cervantes. It's in Western Australia. And also they say that this whole Spanish language, they say that Spanish is a language of Cervantes, because Cervantes was someone who was so dear to Spanish people. Okay, and in 1752 there was a Scottish writer who had written a novel being inspired by Don Quixote, the female Quixote. And Salman Rushdie has also written Quixote novel, which is pronounced as Quixote, being inspired from Don Quixote. And these are characters, my friends, you can read them. It's very simple: Don Quixote, Sancho Panza, Dulcinea, right? And Teresa is wife of Sancho, not a major character. And this is Antonia, Samson, Cardenio, Dorothy. Okay, so this was it, my friends, a beautiful tale, epic, illogical and soulful tale of Don Quixote has come to an end. It breaks me apart as well, why this tale has ended. That Don Quixote for us, this was such a fresh story. And Don Quixote is someone who becomes the clumsy but courageous knight of the sorrowful. So today, on behalf of High On Literature, my friends, I dedicate this channel to you, to your faith, to your love, to your belief. Whatever videos or whatever topics you will suggest me in this comment section, I'll review them and I'll make videos only on those topics which you want. So in a way, it's your channel more as it's mine. So more than a subscriber, you are a partner. Let's make literature a much better field. Let's simplify it. Make sure to like and subscribe this video and this channel, so that this is the only way you can support us. And you can also follow us on Instagram and the following links to get connected. And lastly, I would say don't forget to hit that bell icon, so whenever we post some new videos, you'll be updated. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Adios, amigos. Allow me to take leave of you, dear reader. I'm here, always ready to serve you. You were not bored, I hope. And this particular video took 10 days, more than 10 days of my research. I analyzed various links, several links, and I tried to make it easier for you, a smooth experience for you. I don't know by how much percentage we could make justice to it, but thanks for being such a kind audience. Good luck.